This $2,000 move was spotted 30 minutes early using just one indicator, the VWAP. In this short video, you will learn exactly what the VWAP is, how to use it to make money, and how you can change the settings to potentially make it even better. But alright, so before we can start using the VWAP effectively, we of course first need to understand what is the VWAP in the first place. Well, the VWAP, which is a short for volume weighted average price, shows the average trading price of an asset. So this could be, crypto, forex, or stocks. It works in all markets during a session and weighted by volume. So it gives more weight to prices where high volume occurred. And this makes it, according to many traders, much more accurate compared to, for example, a normal moving average. So for example, if we have a large red candle with little volume, it will make the VWAP move slightly down. But if we have the exact same candle with lots of volume, it will make the VWAP move more down. And if this sounds complicated, don't worry, I will show you guys exactly how this works very soon. But the formula here for the VWAP is simply price times volume divided by total volume. And once again, it's not super important to understand exactly this formula. But what is important to understand here is that the VWAP is combining both price and volume compared to, for example, moving averages, which only uses price. And the VWAP looks like a smooth line, but it's very important that it's almost always used on intraday charts. So the VWAP is mostly used for day trading and also scalping as well. Scalp. Because the VWAP is starting at the session open and is sort of updated during the day. So, or in other words, VWAP resets daily, making each session of the VWAP independent. So before we continue here, let's actually jump into TradingView super quickly. And by the way, guys, if you for some reason don't use TradingView yet, if you have been watching the channel for a while, you know that this is the platform I use for all my technical analysis. I even use it for all my fundamental analysis as well. And I do have a special link to TradingView. It will be in the top comment and the description. But what I want to show you guys right now to begin with is what I talked about earlier. So here on the screen, you have a VWAP. I will show you guys how to set it up very soon. But for now, what I want you to notice is that look here on the bottom of the screen, you can see that I also have a volume indicator. And if we compare how much the VWAP moves right here, you can see here we have red candles, but we have very little volume. And you can see that we don't see a lot of movement on the VWAP. But when we had these, large red candles and lots of volume, this is when we see the strong movements on the VWAP. So think about it like this. The larger the candle and the more volume we have, it's these two factors together that creates movements on the VWAP. But alright, so now let's switch the attention a bit here and take a look at why day traders and scalpers use the VWAP. Well, first of all, they use it for something called trend bias. And this is, one way to use the VWAP. And the very simple explanation is that when VWAP is, when the price is above the VWAP, it indicates, a bullish trend. And when the price is below the VWAP, it indicates a bearish trend. This is, of course, a simplification. And later on in this video, I will show you, one thing you can combine with the VWAP to make it more successful. But for now, that is one thing you need to know. You can also use the VWAP as support and resistance. Many traders use it as support and resistance, and this is a kind of dynamic support and resistance. So it's not a static support and resistance that doesn't change, but it moves, with the price. And by the way, guys, if you want to learn more about support and resistance, I do have a full support and resistance trading course right here on the channel, and I highly recommend you check that one out after this video. But some other ways that day traders and scalpers use it is to gauge something called fair value. This helps identify where the price is overbought or undervalued. Another use case here is institutional activity. Big institutional traders, or in other words, smart money, often use the VWAP as a benchmark, often benchmark entries against the VWAP. You can also, last but not least, use the VWAP for entries. So traders use it to time things like pullbacks, breakouts, and even mean reversion trades. But right, so now let's switch the attention here and take a look at some VWAP trading strategies. And let's begin here with the two first strategies. And these are the trend following bias, this one we briefly mentioned before, and the pullback bounce strategy. But the trend following strategy is basically to only trade long above a rising VWAP and only short below a falling VWAP. And this can help to stay on the right side of the momentum. And we will very soon jump into TradingView and show you guys that. But you can also use the VWAP to buy pullbacks to the VWAP in an uptrend, and you can short rallies to a VWAP in a downtrend. And what you can of course do is actually to combine both of these strategies together. But alright, so now let's jump back here into TradingView. I'm currently looking here at Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. And remember here that the VWAP is best used for day trading and scalping. So you can use anywhere from, maybe the 1 minute time frame up to a max of like 15 to 30 minutes. You might even use the 1 hour, but I recommend to go at least below the 30-minute time frame. But you can use the 1 hour too. But here, to open up the VWAP, you go to the Indicators tab in TradingView, and then you simply search for the VWAP like this. And as you can see, we have two built-in indicators, and we also have tons of indicators created by the TradingView community. That is one thing I really like about TradingView. But here, I will start by showing you the normal built-in VWAP. So let's open this one up. If we got time later on in this video, I will show you guys another VWAP as well. But first of all, this standard built-in VWAP indicator is very solid. And now I just want to make it a bit more clear, so I go up to the settings tab. I like to just, let's increase the thickness here of the middle line. And if you want to change it as I had it in the beginning, I changed this one to circles, this one to circles, and to purple. I think I had it like a little bit like this, and then we press OK. So now let's take a look at a trading strategy step by step. And remember from earlier in the video, we are looking at two trading strategies. First of all, we're looking at trend bias. So if the price is below the VWAP, we're looking for short trades. And if the price is above the VWAP, we're looking for long trades. Here, you can see that right here was when the day started for Bitcoin. And you can first of all see that the previous VWAP gets reset at this point. But here on this day, you can see that the price started by falling here, and during the whole day, we were in a sort of downtrend. We traded below the VWAP, clearly below the VWAP. So here we're looking out for short trades. And remember, the second strategy I talked about is that we're looking for the VWAP to come, for the price to come back to the VWAP, and this is a good place where we can look out for trades. However, if you have been following my channel for a while, you know that two concepts I pretty much always combine with indicators are price action and market structure. And in this case, we actually had a specific pattern. So let me mark this one up right here. Let me actually use a whole line. You can see that during this pullback, when the price returned to the VWAP, we actually had a sort of rising wedge, right? This right here is a specific chart pattern indicating a continuation to the downside. By the way, if you want to learn more about chart patterns, I do have a full chart pattern training course right here on the channel. I highly recommend to check that one out, and I will link that one up in the video card as well as the description. But here we had two things happening at the same time. We had the price coming up to the VWAP, and we also had this breakout from the rising wedge. So this right here could definitely have been an entry point. Remember, we're looking for short trades, so if we enter here at the breakout candle, our entry would be right there. As for the stop loss, I would, first of all, since this is a rising wedge, I would set it just above the high of the wedge. But what you can also notice that in this case, it aligns with just above the VWAP. So that is a very nice stop loss level. And as for your risk to reward, a risk to reward ratio of 2 would have been right there. It would have been some quick profit, but in this case you can see that we could have used a much larger risk to reward as well, and we would have caught this move and made some nice profit. But right, so these were just two basic strategies of the VWAP. I actually do have many more I want to cover, but I think in this video we'll definitely not have time to cover everyone, so I will save the rest of the trading strategies for our YouTube channel members. If you didn't know, we have an amazing community right here on YouTube where I share presentations like this one. I also share exclusive videos, exclusive posts, even some trading tools that you guys can use. So if you want to get access to all these strategies and at the same time support the channel, you can, consider becoming a channel member by clicking join down below. However, I do want to cover some more things in this video. I will save some strategies, as I said, but I want to take a quick look here at how to change the settings to potentially make the VWAP even better. So let's take a look at how to optimize the settings here. Well, the first thing we should have in mind is the session type. So the common way to use the VWAP is to use the session VWAP for daily trading. And this was what I showed you guys earlier. So for example, when we looked at Bitcoin, you saw that the VWAP resets at the beginning of every day. And this is the most common setting. But here for scalping or 24/7 markets like crypto, as I said, you can consider custom anchor points. So maybe you want to change the setting for Bitcoin to only be open during, let's say, the New York session or the Asia session and so on and so on. There are special VWAP indicators for that too. And by the way, guys, if you don't know what trading sessions is and want to learn more about trading sessions, I do have a video about that, and I will make sure to leave a link to that video in the video card and the description. And here, if you are trading stocks, one thing to consider here is to include or exclude off hours. So stock traders, the stock market is only open it tends to be around 9 to 5 in your time zone. So many stock traders tend to, exclude the sort of pre or after market to get a cleaner VWAP, while crypto and forex traders typically use the full 24-hour sessions. This was what we did with Bitcoin. But right, so now I want to show you guys a special VWAP indicator, because if you are trading stocks, for example, right now we're looking here at Nvidia, what you can notice here is that, the market actually opened right here. You can see the big volume spike. This was where the market opened. But if you use extended hours, you can see that the VWAP actually starts all the way back here. So the easiest way I know of to, change this so that you only get the sort of real trading hours is to actually, change the settings of the chart itself. So you right click here, you go down and press settings. Then what you do is that you navigate here to where it says symbol, and you go down to where it says session, and now you can see that I have extended trading hours included. But if you switch here to the regular trading hours and press OK, then you can see that the VWAP automatically changes right to the actual trading session. So now the VWAP starts automatically where the real day starts. And now, last but definitely not least, I want to show you guys another VWAP indicator. So let's go up here to the indicators tab. And now I want to search for session, I think it was called session VWAP. And then you can go down here and open up the session VWAPs by Quant View. And what did this indicator basically allow you, let me go to the settings right here. and then go to inputs is that you can choose your own trading session. So if you want to trade, as I said, if you want to trade the London session, the Asia session, or New York session, you can change the session right here. To do that, you change the settings to your own time zone. So for example, here in Sweden during summertime, I think we are at GMT +2. So we can choose 2 right here. And then let's say that I want to choose the hours which the Swedish stock market is open, which is 9 to 17:30. Then I can choose like this and press OK. But alright guys, so as I mentioned, I do have some more settings I want to cover too right here and some more stuff, but this video is getting super long right here, so I think I will wrap this video up. But I will make sure to release this presentation for our YouTube channel members, so if you want to join, that would be super awesome. And now guys, in order to use the VWAP effectively, I highly recommend to dive deeper into market structure. So if you have the time, make sure to watch this full course next.